I'm loving the pop off.
What's good? Welcome back to the Pop Off Podcast, a conversation about football and group chats. My name is Ralph Compiano. I am your host, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Michael Cerroni. And today we're going to be playing a game called Group Chat True or False, where, you know, everybody that's listening to this is probably a part of a group chat with their boys, and there's a lot of messages that get rifled through on a Sunday. Ours is just as poppin' as anybody's, I'm sure. And some wild shit gets said in the group chat, and we don't want it to go, completely into the abyss. So I've highlighted a bunch of texts that have been sent because, when people are sending these texts, like, there might be some truth to them, but sometimes people are just trying to play up to the character of, like, their texting character. So we're going to analyze each of these, and we're going to say true or false for each of them. Cerroni, the very first one is that Josh Allen, who played on Monday night against the Jaguars and had 4 touchdowns in the first half, Josh Allen is closer to Patrick Mahomes than any of us actually want to admit. True or false?
Wow, this is just a tough one.
Off the
rip. We're not. You don't want to start off easy, huh?
No.
No, he's not. That's false. Josh Allen has never been to a Super Bowl. Mahomes has been to 3 Super Bowls. He's won 2 of them. Josh Allen's never
been
won
to
an
4,
MVP.
Won 3.
Is that a real fact?
Yeah, he's won 3 Super Bowls.
Sometimes I wonder why I'm a co-host. He's won 3. He's won 3 Super. I thought he won 2. Jesus, fuck. Who was the first one against? Oh, the Bengals.
The first one was against the Niners, and then he lost to Tom Brady.
Wow.
And then they took a break, and it was Bengals-Rams.
There's a reason why I made a coffee.
And then there was back-to-back Super Bowls the last 2 years.
And don't have a shirt on.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, you know what that does is that actually plays into my point that he's not even – that makes him even farther away because Patty Mahomes has 4 Super Bowl appearances, 3 wins, MVPs. No. He's not closer to him than any of us think. Now, is he asking – this is for context. Is he asking on a talent level? I would say he is closer than a lot of us think. But on a legacy type of accolade level, no, if that makes sense. Somehow.
So I think that this is actually perfect. They're Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, right? Like, Tom Brady was a beneficiary of being a part of the Patriots with Bill Belichick and his head coach. Quote-unquote system quarterback, but really he ran that system. Peyton Manning was a guy that was, probably just as talented as Brady, maybe somewhere in that realm. Just for season stats thus far, Josh Allen, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, just this season through 3 games. 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And I think you could make an argument that this might be like the Chiefs, despite like the lack of weapons that they have in the wide receiver room, they still have Rashee Rice, who's absolutely elite. Travis Kelce, who's, not the best version of Kelce anymore, but he's still Travis Kelce to an extent. Josh is like on a 2018 LeBron run right now where like he's just making Khalil Shakir look really fucking good. James Cook has been awesome.
That offense runs so smoothly.
They
got 13 yards by accident.
Right, exactly. But like he doesn't have the beneficiary. That's why I'm comparing them to Brady and Manning. Like Mahomes has Andy Reid, who is generational play caller. Everybody considers him that. Allen's had 3 different play callers between Dable, Joe Brady, and I think Brady's the play caller there now. But I mean, I think from a talent standpoint, like they're pretty much in the same realm. Like Josh he's gotten way better every single season, and Patrick, I'm not sure if he is gotten that much better this season than he was last year, but I think Josh has improved significantly since last year.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say on a talent level. To say Mahomes and Allen are like Brady and Manning, that's giving Josh Allen a little bit too much credit to be in the Peyton Manning spot of that, because Peyton Manning he not only, he did the deeds, the rings, the Super Bowl appearances, the stats. I agree with that on a talent standpoint, but on a accolade and achievement standpoint, you can't put Josh Allen with Peyton Manning just yet. He still has a lot to prove. Has Josh Allen ever won the AFC? He hasn't, right? He's never been to Super Bowl.
Has not been to the Super Bowl, but Peyton Manning only won 2 Super Bowls when you look back on it. He won one with the Colts and he won one with the Broncos. So it's not like he has 7 rings like Brady does. Like he has 2.
No, but
So
that's
does his brother
still
Eli. And Josh is
he.
still really young in his career. Like what? This is his 7th year in the league.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's young. I would say he's established. But Peyton Manning also, did he go to 4? He went to at least 3 because I know he lost with the against the Saints, the halftime
Yep.
onside. Um, to put Josh Allen up there, he still has a lot of work to do to be in the same camp as Peyton Manning. But I would say talent wise, that's fine putting him up there because and he also, I mean, just a purely different quarterback than Peyton Manning. I mean, you see Peyton Manning run, his upper torso doesn't even move a centimeter. It's just like legs. It's like a little Lego guy, just like him doing his jog. Nothing against Peyton Manning, just an absolute force. But yeah, to recap that, talent wise, I'm fine saying that, but it's like as far as legacy, no, he has a lot to work. I mean, a lot of work to do to
Well, I
even
just think
come
they're going to
close
run
to
into
that
each other
realm.
all the time in the playoffs. 2 AFC teams, different divisions, and
Yeah,
there's
but
a lot of
Mahomes always
respect there.
owns him.
I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, but
Mahomes
like
went to Buffalo in the snow and that was last year, right?
But like
They
the
smacked
game
Baltimore.
that we remember them for the most, it wasn't Josh's fault that they lost that game.
It was
It's
like the
his
13
fault that they left
second.
13 seconds left on the clock. Like nobody is supposed to score in that situation, but Mahomes somehow did. And I think that it'll be. I think they play at some point this season during the regular season, so I cannot
Oh, they
wait for that
have to.
game. But I
Yeah.
think it's definitely closer than people want to admit. All right, next one: true or false? Let's tug at your heartstrings here a little bit. Contentious day in the fantasy football group chat. Malik Neighbors is tradable in fantasy football. A trade went down in our league today between you and my brother, Peter Campiano. And the deal was this:
Talk about this.
you acquired Kenneth Walker and Mark Andrews. PD acquired Malik Neighbors and George Kittle. True
Okay.
or false? Malik Neighbors is tradable.
True. I mean, I just proved it. He's definitely tradable. Let me tell you something about tradable. Let me explain myself. This is actually perfect for me to explain myself to all you
Sure, go
fuckers
for it.
listening.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in the group chat should watch this episode if you're, part of the clan here.
Clan is
This is,
crazy. Clan is insane.
I was thinking of Clash of Clans. Clan with a C, not a K. You fucking animal. Club. Part of the club here. Is that
There you
better?
go. That's way better.
Um,
Roster.
Also,
Anything
this is
else other than
way.
clan.
Yeah, it probably wasn't the best choice of words. Um, First of all, a lot of context has to come into this because you can't just judge a fantasy football trade without looking at the other two people's teams. I'm in desperate need of a running back.
Oh, and
And
3.
I have receivers galore. I have like Pickens, Neighbors, Pittman just sitting on the bench, not like. Now, is that an issue with me starting people? Of course. Is that an issue with me also missing the draft because you guys pushed it back an hour on draft day? Of course. But for me, one, needing running backs, and two, being a diehard Ravens fan, me trading Neighbors a sell high because of one game he went off to grab a running back that I need, who's a very good running back who the one game he played that was healthy put up 21 fantasy points on a Seattle team that's on fire right now, and getting the lead tight end on my favorite team is a perfectly fair trade. A buy low on Mark Andrews, a tight end on my favorite team, with the running back, another buy low that's injured on a very good Seattle team, trading off a sell high, perfectly executed sell high, if you ask me, by Mike Cerroni, with Malik Neighbors, who that team will come down back to earth when they realize that the only person on offense that even matters or does anything is that one guy. Just bring a double and you can beat the Giants blindfolded. Will pay off dividends long term. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. That's my case. Close my case.
All right, so I'll make the case for Malik Neighbors first. Their first 3 NFL games, these LSU wide receivers, Justin Jefferson had 12 catches for 245 yards and a touchdown, and we were really excited about him. Jamar Chase had 11 catches for 220 yards and 4 touchdowns. We were really excited about him. Malik Neighbors, another LSU wide receiver, 23 receptions, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Most of that's one game, but
that's 3 games. That's through 3 weeks.
But most of that stat line for Neighbors is in the last game. His first week, he caught 5 balls for 50 yards. No touchdowns. Offside. Against a good Vikings defense.
I think one of the most important ingredients that you need to have if you're going to be a wide receiver in the NFL is just unparalleled ignorance and confidence in yourself. Yeah, to a certain extent, a huge dick, right? And he said, there's like a quote of him going around where he said in an interview with like Fanatics or something like that, he said, I'm a mixture of Jamar, Jettas, and CD. And it's like he's automatically putting himself like with the 3 best wide receivers in the league.
LeBron?
he's like I am the wide receiver.
You're Jerry Rice,
and you know what? I believe him, and I love it. Like I think that he's unbelievable. Rookie receivers have come in and made a splash in the league, especially these LSU ones. There is a pedigree there for the guys that are his predecessors, and not just Jefferson and Jamar, but like other guys too that have come like out like as rookies, like Odell in the past. Like they blow up.
I saw a tweet that like getting a wide receiver from LSU is getting like a guard from Kentucky.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like getting De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray,
Devin
Booker. Like you just get absolute dogs, right? I think that he is quarterback proof. PD's argument was that like, and I don't know why PD was trying to make an argument for you. He was like Daniel Jones is his quarterback. It literally doesn't matter. He's been throwing him terrible passes in that Cleveland game, which is a good defense at Cleveland. He's going against Newsome and Denzel Ward, good corners over there. And he's just making ridiculous catches. And he's been doing it like for the last, like, not just last 3 weeks, but like even in training camp. Like there were highlights of him at training camp just mossing people.
Yeah, but I just think long term, there's no weapons. Why would every team here on out when they play the Giants not double Neighbors? Because
I don't think it matters. I think he's seen double teams so far. And then my other point that I wanted to make was you said you wanted to get a tight end for your favorite team. In fantasy football, you need to play with your head over your heart. There's a reason that I don't have a single Chicago Bear on my team right now. I don't think I have one.
Unloyal.
I don't have a single Bear on my team. That's just like you can't play that way. If there's money involved, if there's stakes and confidence involved, you cannot play that way because that's your problem. You said that you're loaded at wide receiver, but you said you're loaded at wide receiver. You know who you've been starting the last 3 weeks? Zay Flowers over him. I'm sorry, Zay Flowers is sick. He's not a better wide receiver than Malik Neighbors. Like not in any world is he a better player.
Let me tell you something. It's a cold day. It's a cold day in hell. The day that I sit Zay Flowers and play some other scrub. Okay, I don't care. And I'll say this before I reclose my closing argument. In past years, aka last year and the year before, when I load up with Ravens and we ball out the past 2 years, I've won leagues playing Zay Flowers, Andrews, Lamar. It works because we're a good team. I will still start Zay over. I'll take a guy that I love, a talented guy on a team that I root for, that's a good team, over a rookie wideout that before this week didn't show me a ton of promise on the worst team in the league. You say he's quarterback proof. Now, right now, 3 weeks in, you have that argument. I think we might have this same argument week 15, 16 that, maybe he isn't quarterback proof. That's the gamble. That's the risk. Okay, if you don't take any risk, there's no reward. I think it'll pay off. And then also just an overarching theme again that we keep missing. I desperately need a running back. So to get Walker,
but you could have gotten other running backs. It wouldn't. It didn't have to be Kenneth Walker.
You think he would have gave me Derrick Henry? You think Reisberg would have gave me Derrick Henry?
I'm telling you right now, it wouldn't have been a 1-for-1 swap, but I would have at least entertained the idea of getting Neighbors for somebody like. Well, Pacheco's hurt, and I only have Saquon. But, like, I know that, like, other guys would have been, like, throwing, like, anybody other than Kenneth Walker on the table.
I don't think – bro, Kenneth Walker's a dog. I don't know why he does get injured. I know.
And Charbonnet's been good. I think that's the issue here is that, like, Seattle, like, they haven't really missed a step without Kenneth Walker in the lineup.
Charbonnet, that guy, he'll get washed out. Kenneth Walker's their guy, and they know it, and he'll be back healthy. When he was healthy, there was no splitting carries. And my ADHD is, I don't know where I was going to make one more point.
I got you. Let me
I
just
don't
pull up
remember.
Malik Neighbors' stats
Yeah.
in
Oh,
week 2 because
also,
you said it
I'm
was
the
week 3, and week
he
2
had a good week too. He had a good
he had
week too. Don't forget
127
the
yards
stats.
on
Don't forget
18
the stats.
targets. He got targeted 18 times. That just doesn't
Teams
happen
are
in
gonna,
fantasy.
but teams are gonna. I just don't think he can. You need to get targeted 18 times every game.
Honestly,
No,
yeah, because week 1 he got what, like 8 targets or something like that, and then Dable
and like
said
5 catches.
after week 1 he was like, they're like, what are you going to do about Malik? He's like, we just got to give him the fucking ball. And Dable's that kind of guy. Like, he had Diggs. He's like, we just need to get Diggs the ball when he was with Buffalo. Like, that's the kind of like offensive play caller he is. He's like, we're just going to find a way to get in this guy's hands.
And why Diggs leave Buffalo? He wasn't getting the ball.
Well, that was after Dable. Dable was no longer there. Dable has been with the Giants for the last 2 years.
Damn it! Squash my take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't. I didn't see how I got trade. Wrecked. I won't say the word. And also, I'm the only one. Everybody's so afraid to make trades in fantasy across all leagues because they're afraid of the backlash of you made a bad trade, you got traded, wrecked.
Well,
Blah
we don't
blah
have
blah.
to. We don't have to
I'll
talk about the
take the
Rasheed Rice for
risks.
Debo trade. We don't have to talk about the Rasheed Rice for Debo trade. But
I'll
that
talk
was
about it. You want to talk about it?
honestly. I mean, we can. It's like the same exact philosophy. It's like you have a number 1 wide receiver in an offense. I mean, he's been absolutely phenomenal. He's only gotten
He has
better in his
been.
second year, and
But
Debo is
Debo is
injury
so.
prone.
Do you not
Maybe you just,
remember
but
what
maybe that's your
Debo
thing.
did
Maybe you have a
last
thing
year?
for maybe you have a thing
30,
for injury
40
prone players.
points.
Maybe you just like
I,
injury prone players.
no, I have a thing for being smart and buying low.
All right, we'll move into the next group chat. Truth or false? That was good.
Fucking fight till I die.
Have you seen the picture of Sean McVay head tapping Kyle Shanahan?
Yes, he big broed him.
Okay. Is that
Yeah,
picture of McVay head tapping Shanahan the ultimate sunning? Is it worse than what Stroud did to Caleb the previous week, or what Darnold did to Stroud this week? True or false?
I'll say false. I think that picture was taken from a screenshot of a video that wasn't as bad as we thought. And I'll say this. I'll say this. Whenever they meet again, I'm going to put every cent I have on the 49ers because Shanahan is hearing that buzz, is seeing that picture. And for McVay to usually be a very professional guy. Now, again, that picture is just, I didn't see the video. I think that's a very taken out of context screenshot of a picture. But I don't think he sunned him. I think, yeah, there was a little bit of, because they come from the same, little tree, right? Don't they come
Yep.
from the same? Yeah. I think there's a little bit of it, but I don't think, I think they still have a very high mutual respect for each other. And I think that picture isn't as bad as it seems. The screenshot that was sent around in the group chat looks like, it looks bad. It looks like he's calling him bud or pal or like squirt, which I don't think is necessarily the truth to that. But there's a hint of that. Like we said, good jokes always contain true shit. I think there's a hint of it, but I don't think that's as bad as that screenshot portrays. That's my take on it. I don't know. You might have something different.
No, I mean, I agree to a certain extent. McVay was his quality control analyst in Washington when Shanahan was the offensive coordinator there. So they
What
go
the fuck
way
is
back.
that?
It's like a guy that like essentially like prints stuff out, helps out with the offense. Like it's essentially like a glorified intern is what a quality control analyst is. They get paid a decent amount of money, but not near as much as like a quarterback coach, whatever it would be. So I mean, they go way back, and like I think that things are going to get taken out of context. There's a hilarious video of Chris Paul and somebody taps Chris Paul on the head, and then he's like, "No, fuck that! I'm tapping you on the head like you're a little bro." I think there's been worse renditions of this phenomena of the head tap. Like Kyrie and LeBron always used to do it to each other when they would play against one another. It's like I don't know why they have so much pride that they just won't let the last person head tap them. I'm sure Shanahan might have gotten him back.
I mean, have you ever been head tapped? You
Yeah, I
know?
mean, I do it. I do it to PD all the time. I'm like, hey, that was a
Oh,
really good
that's
game
so,
at 21, buddy. All right, I love you, but yeah, better luck next time.
that's
Um,
worse than a slap on the ass. Like
oh,
I'd
way
rather,
worse.
yeah.
Slap on
If
the
you
ass is like that's bro shit. That's like
and it's
that's
worse
locker
in
room stuff.
yeah, and Petey's that's even worse because Petey, it's I mean he's down there. He's not the
Yeah.
tallest
I mean,
guy,
I do it to my
so
players all the time. Like, I'll take Devontae and like, I'll beat him on one, just like, hey, like, you're learning from me from a reason, buddy. And I'll just tap him on the head, be like, good job, proud of you. All right, let's move into the next one. This one actually is from P. True or false? The Bears need to. I'm gonna say I changed the phrasing for it. The
oh I
Bears
know this
need
text. This is
the
bad.
the Bears need to publicly spank Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron at the top of Soldier Field for all of the city of Chicago to see. I'm talking bare ass spank, pull down their fucking Nike sweats and spank them in front of everybody. True or false?
True. I'll buy into that one. I don't
It's a
know what's
disgrace.
going. Yeah, it's the play calling. The I was listening to a big cat take, which I'll kind of steal because I thought it was funny but very true because I watch Hard Knocks. I feel like Matt Eberflus just kind of got a new haircut and a beard, and everybody just forgot that he was a really bad coach. Which was that just a big smoke screen? Like the Hard Knocks painted him as this. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Bears fan. I watched Hard Knocks. I was like, this Eberflus guy rocks. After I'm talking about just watching Hard
His
Knocks.
daughters are hot. He got a new haircut. Like he
Yeah,
seems like a good enough guy. Here's my thing with
personable guy.
Eberflus. I'll be the only defensible take for Eberflus is this: our defense is elite, and he is the stronghold play caller of the defense. Like he came from
I didn't know
Indianapolis.
that.
He was their defensive coordinator, so he's the designer of this defense. Okay, I think he was very crucial to the roster building aspect of getting Edmonds and Edwards, repaying Jalen, bringing in Brisker, going and getting Kyler and Tyreek, going and getting Montez Sweat. Like I think he was important
So
for that.
where's Shane Walden from?
He's from
What's this guy?
Seattle. Okay, so he's an offensive coordinator for Seattle, and there was a quote when he left Seattle for Chicago that Jackson Smith and Jigba, a wide receiver for the Seahawks, coming from Ohio State, he said to the media, I think during Super Bowl week, when Shane Waldron was announced as the new offensive coordinator for the Bears, he said, "Good luck with that" to the Bears. He did nothing last year as a rookie in Shane Waldron's offense. This year, he's blowing up. He's been fucking awesome through 3 weeks, and I think it's largely
Yeah.
in part to the fact that Shane Waldron is no longer there calling plays. Okay, so Eberflus, like, he's good for like defensive installment and play calling in that regard, but when it comes to timeouts, challenges,
And
like
challenge it. Dude, it blows my mind that me on my couch can see that a play. There's no way that there's not a guy in the booth that is seeing something different than I am on my own couch, telling him to challenge the play. The decision making with some of these managers and coaches. I mean, I don't know. Are they seeing a different game? I feel like the least visible is watching the broadcast, sitting on the couch. There's no way they're
100%.
not seeing what we're seeing. Like, yeah, it's so bad with that. And maybe that's
It's
not even his fault because he's
aggravating.
probably getting a call.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like there was a challenge. I think it was this week, maybe it was last week. I'm starting to mix them up, but Kyler Gordon was like, "You need to challenge that." I picked it, and he clearly did not intercept it.
Players
Like
do
it
that
hit
all
the
the
ground,
time.
and it's like just don't listen to him. Like you don't have to listen to him. You're the coach. Assume
Yeah,
your role as
because
the boss in this position. Like he needs to know that you're the boss, and you're not going to fall for that shit. And it's not even like our number one corner. It's like our slot corner. Like I love
yeah,
Kyler Gordon, but like he didn't pick
don't
that
just
ball.
throw the flag to make him happy.
Yeah, and then the
Like,
speed option
it,
of the goal line was just like the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
it's just
I mean, we're
I've
sitting
never
here on the
seen a D
couch and like,
line get through so fast. I
I
mean,
mean,
within a half a second, there was four guys
right there.
5 yards out, 7 yards out of the goal line. And what's his name? Swift is just. It's not even his fault, man. I mean, he got the ball, looked up, and there was all he could see was white and blue. And at that
Yeah,
point, you got to go backwards and try to. Yeah, it's
it's terrible.
bad.
It's just bad. We're sitting here, we're watching Red Zone, we're seeing all of the other offenses, and like they're pretty competent at the very least. And Caleb's doing his best, man. Like he had some really flashy plays where
He
we'll do
did
that. We'll do that one next.
300 yards.
Yeah, and
right?
some of them some of those are garbage time yards, but at the same time, like he's still when he's on time and on target and has time in the pocket, he looks really good. So let's do that one now. Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in this draft class. True or false?
As of right now, true. Um,
Going forward, do
as
you think he will remain to be the best quarterback in this draft class?
I mean, yeah, I'll say yes. I think keep in mind that Washington's O line is not really that much better than. Do you remember what's Powell last year? I mean, this guy's getting decapitated, and it's not really that much better this year. But Jaden, like you just, there's something about guys who just figure it out, who just you deal with the shit, and you sleep in the bed that's not even you made. Jaden, you sleep in the bed that was made for you, and you figure it out, and you scramble. Caleb's not like he can scramble. He can make some move with his legs, but Jaden's throwing accurate balls, not one single turnover. With again through 3 games as a rookie quarterback is pretty wild. He's making it happen, and I mean, yeah, something like again, even with the O line and all the excuses, this is blah blah blah, for him to go to Cincy in a huge Monday night game with the whole world watching to somehow pull out a win. You even brought up the stat too that like Mahomes, Brady, and like Aaron Rodgers, and Jane Daniels, like the only QBs to score on every drive.
So
Or
games where teams scored on every single drive, excluding kneel downs, Jaden Daniels has 2 of those games so far. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning combined through 1,094 starts had 2 games like that where their team scored on every single drive. So he's not just in like company; he's surpassing these guys already. I think that the difference between him and Caleb is mobile, like he can maneuver the pocket pretty well when there is a pocket. He can get outside. He can make defenders miss. But Jaden is the only person I've seen like Lamar or Kyler where he's literally a one-of-one athlete. Like he's a 1%er. Like, and he can just like he's like the only person like he doesn't even juke people. He like Euro steps them, and it's like, oh shit! Like he's making defenders touch earth. Like he is ridiculously athletic, and he looks a lot like Lamar.
I was watching. I mean, I watched the playbacks of the games, and yeah, it was weird. I was like, this guy looks like Lamar. He's doing Lamar things. Now Lamar is quick. I mean, it's Lamar's quicker and faster, but he has streaks of it. He has flashes of it. I think people are going to start to see that, and that'll help him out at the line because you have to pay homage to that with a QB spy or something with the linebackers to keep him honest. Yeah, I think I can sleep with saying that long term, maybe at the end of the year, he still looks like the best quarterback after the draft. I'll say that. I'll
stick with Caleb, but I've been really impressed by him. I don't regret drafting Caleb. I want Caleb. I'd rather have Caleb than Jaden as a Bears fan. But the balls to throw a go route to McLaurin, I think it was what? It was like 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game. You're up 5. It's 3rd and 7. And he just, defender in his face, rushing right at him, and he just drops an absolute dot right into McLaurin's breadbasket.
You have to put that ball in a 2 foot by 2 foot window, 40 yards down the field. I was one of
2 inch by 2 inch. Like there's no room for error there. Otherwise, it's getting picked or batted. The clock is stopping. They have the 2-minute warning. Joe Burrow's going down. Yeah,
and give it to Terry to somehow track that down and find a 3-inch space of turf to tap his knee because he can't get the second. Just that's one of the best plays I think of the season so far.
Oh, easily. McLaurin is like thanking God right now. He's like, I finally have it. Not even just a competent quarterback, but like a good quarterback. Like, he's had Alex Smith, Carson Wentz, Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell. I've been dealing with all these motherfuckers.
I'm very confident in that, and he'll finish. Yeah, I like what I see out of him.
All right, let's stick with quarterbacks here. This one's hysterical. All right, Deshaun Watson is just P. Diddy Daniel Jones.
Was that Bordy? It's got to be Bordy.
I think
Or
that
is it
one was
Clark?
Capsh. That one was Capsh.
Oh, I can see. Yeah, everybody's so witty in this group of Dowling alum. It could come from anyone at any point.
How about those Catholics
Um,
making Deshaun Watson, P Diddy, Daniel Jones jokes? That's the Catholicism
yeah,
shining through right there.
it's a beautiful thing. Um, I mean, I'll say true. I don't really know what that means, but I mean, I guess I'll ride with that.
The idea is
Is he
that
mean on the football field?
yeah, like so, like Daniel Jones is like super mid, and like Deshaun Watson used to be this elite quarterback, and like there was even like flashes of Daniel Jones. I remember his debut for the Giants. He came in for Eli Manning against the Buccaneers. I'm like, damn, Duke in the NFL, dude. Like this guy's a hooper. And then
Duke in the NFL.
everything was just downhill from there. He was just awful, and it's just like, oh, he's just a mobile quarterback that runs around like a chicken with his head cut off. Now Deshaun's kind of in that same boat. Like he's not elite at one thing. He might not even be average at most things. He just benefits. Daniel Jones just benefits from being able to throw the ball in the vicinity of Malik Neighbors, and he's just like,
Yeah.
fuck it, that guy will pull it down somewhere. And Deshaun is kind
Actually,
of the same
now
thing
that
with
I
Amari
think about
Cooper.
it, now that I think about it, if in some weird world Daniel Jones and P Diddy had a baby, it'd probably come out like Deshaun Watson. I mean, I'm talking like looking like him, playing like him, acting like him. You maybe add a little bit of baby oil in the mix, and it's probably Deshaun Watson. Throw him out. That's actually a great take, Cash.
All right.
Yeah, we'll double down on that. A lot of true statements so far in this new game we're playing. This
All right.
segment.
I'm really interested to hear what you think about this one. True or false? Sam Darnold is the face of the franchise for the future for the Minnesota Vikings. Not just 2024, but 2024 and beyond.
False. This gets into really tricky territory. Panthers are in the same spot, right? Because do you put all your eggs in backs? Jesus fucking. Do you put all your eggs in the same in the same basket with a guy like Darnold or with a guy like Andy Dalton? Do you? I don't know. Did the Panthers trade Bryce Young quickly and then just kind of bank? I don't think he's the future of the Vikings. I think he is a hell of a sub to win like Flacco was, to go out there and win 3, 4, 5 games. Actually, that's completely false because McCarthy's gone for the year. No, I think no, false. He's not a long-term solution. McCarthy can learn under him and get better and rest up, but you can't just start over with him now. He's getting pretty old. I don't know if he's.
Is he? Is he getting pretty old? Because he's 27 years old. He's younger than.
Yeah, I said that without any knowing, but
He's younger than Joe Burrow. He's younger than Lamar. He's the same draft class as Baker and Josh Allen. He got drafted at 20 years old. 8
really,
touchdowns, 2 interceptions through 3 games. Looked like a better quarterback against a guy who I think is a top 3 quarterback in C.J. Stroud. He was 17 of 28, 4 touchdowns, just dismantled that Houston defense. Vikings are 3-0. I mean, he has made 2 errors
well, if you're
and there are
okay,
2
so
interceptions.
if you're the Vikings GM, are you
Yeah,
keeping him long
see you,
long
JJ.
term?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
So here's my argument. Sam Darnold. If I'm at the negotiation table with him and we're negotiating this contract at the end of the year,
Get him for cheap too.
I don't have to pay him $55 million like I have to pay a Dak or a Kirk or whoever the fuck those guys are that are kind of middle tier quarterbacks that are demanding like the average quarterback salary. I'm like, listen, you came here, you shined, we love what we've gotten from you. We'll give you 2 years, $28 million. You're paying him at half the value of the other quarterbacks, and then you can spend that money elsewhere. You can give, a bunch of money to cornerbacks for that crazy Brian Flores defense. You can spend it on the offensive line. You can give it to Jefferson or Addison, all these guys that are going to need extensions. I think they already shorted
Hawkinson.
but yeah, Hawkinson, like guys like that. So I mean, if I'm
Yeah,
Minnesota
that's actually pretty good.
I mean, we're only 3 weeks into the season, so it's not overreact yet. But I mean, if he maintains this for the entire season, I don't know how you take the car
Oh
keys away
yeah,
from him. Like he's been so fucking good.
no, if he does this for the whole season and like they get like a wild card or a playoff berth, then yeah, 100%. But do you trade a broken? I guess you keep McCarthy and have him learn under and just do the whole Packers type thing where you just always have a QB kind of learning and ready. Um, yeah, I mean, I actually don't hate that. That was actually I made my choice, and now I'm kind of regretting it. That's a pretty digestible take. And yeah, if he keeps it up all season, why not? I didn't think he was that. I didn't think he was younger than Burrow. I don't know why I thought he was like older. But yeah, if he keeps it, or what are you diddling? What are you doing? Your screen is going. Are you jerking?
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm touching myself while you talk about Sam Darnold.
Okay, that makes
No,
sense.
I just think the argument is
It's
like,
like
all
what's
right,
his name in the shower?
it's not like they drafted McCarthy with like the third overall pick. They drafted him with the 11th overall pick. Okay, so
Yeah, but that's your
he's.
first. That's it. I'll let you
I
continue.
think you have to ask yourself like, what can you get for him? It's the same thing that's going on in Carolina right now. Like, what is the price for Bryce Young? I have no
Yeah,
idea.
but see, Bryce Young's different because he had a chance for a year. I would
Sure,
get if I was the Panthers, you got to get rid of Bryce Young yesterday because I think he had the chance and he didn't come through. And then you put in Darnold and you blow out, you win by 30. Um, the longer you hold on to Bryce, the lower his
yep,
trade value goes. And you can even at the end of the year with Darnold, if you don't turn out magnificent, say, hey, we messed up. We traded Bryce Darnold. We can keep you and not keep you. If we wanted to, we can even redraft another quarterback. We messed up with Bryce. Um, that's a little bit different. We haven't really seen what McCarthy has been. Obviously, we haven't seen anything from him.
100%.
Um, but yeah, if you're you got to get rid of Bryce. But yeah, if you're the Vikings, if he plays good all year. You have McCarthy learned under him. You maybe hold him, maybe not hold him. It's not like he's still on a rookie contract. The Vikings are actually in a great spot. 3-0 with a bet. Yeah, fucking Vikings fans. Great spot. It is.
That was all right. That's another one. This isn't from the group chat. This is the one that I thought of the other day. The NFL is the best league in the world because it's so unpredictable. True or false?
I mean, besides the Chiefs winning every year, but um, uh,
I mean, Raiders,
I mean, yeah,
Panthers.
true.
Andy Dalton's the first quarterback in the league to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns
I
in
mean,
one
I
game.
predicted that. I saw
You
that a
you
mile
didn't say
away, but
that. You didn't say that Andy Dalton
um,
was going to do that. But like, I just keep like thinking to myself, I'm like, God damn it! Like,
I was
just
saying
when I
there's
think I have
video
this league,
proof just posted.
but you didn't say Andy Dalton was going to go for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
No, that wasn't said.
Yeah. But
But
credence to that, and we have to go through the lines at some point, like our records and everything like that. But like, I mean, that was
I'll say
that was a
true.
call. Okay,
Yeah, I mean, I'll say true on that. Like, if you want to, I mean, I think the NFL is the best league in the world because football is the best sport in the world, and I mean that holds a lot of weight. But yeah, I would say, especially these past couple years, the any given Sunday theme
yep,
has been more prominent than I would say the 5 years before the past couple years. It has been wild. I mean, you saw the 3 games each week with the biggest spread differential. Both teams, all teams, all 3 weeks of the opposite of the spread didn't only cover, they won
one,
outright,
yeah.
which makes it a blast. Unfortunately, the Ravens were on the shit end of that stick week 2, but yeah, it does make it a blast like that. Because I mean, there's just at the end of the day, there's so much talent. Like on every team, it's wild. And yeah, I don't know if that specifically makes it the best league in the world, but that definitely helps. So I'll say true.
To your point about the talent, that's such an interesting point because like everybody always says like, yeah, those guys get paid to play football too. I'm watching the Panthers social media after they upset the Raiders, right?
But having a ball.
And they're showing a video of like the players on the team, and it's just like a band of misfits. It's like Deontay Johnson, Jadeveon Clowney, Thielen was going off, Andy
I
fucking
love
Dalton,
that though.
Chuba Hubbard. It's like, damn, like these guys are really just, you know, he didn't want me no more, man. And they just
I
went to
bet that
Carolina
locker room's on
together.
fire though.
I mean, yeah,
I
they were
bet
having
there's
a
some
blast. They
clips.
were going absolutely nuts. Like we finally won a game. We're 1-2. We have a better record than the Bengals, which brings me to my next one. Joe Burrow has way too many nicknames for a guy with his resume. True or false?
True. I mean, this is a I've never been on the Burrow wagon. I mean, you can see that in my quarterback rankings from earlier in the year. But yeah, everybody loves him because he's handsome. Because he did a cool pass one time in Buffalo where he was in a pregame warmup and threw it and spun to the left. He made it to the Super Bowl, lost. Um, but I mean, this has turned into a Joe Burrow hate segment. But um,
Well, I'll defend
as
him,
of
but go ahead.
late, as of late, that statement I would say is true.
So Monday night against the worst secondary in the league, I think, in Washington, he showed up.
Played good.
29
Yeah,
to 38, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. So I lied. I guess Andy Dalton did that on Sunday, and then he came out and he did it on Monday night. Um, I still believe in him. The risk thing concerned me a lot week one, which is why I was so low on them. I expected them to go under their win total, which I think was 9.5. I put a pretty significant wager on that. I didn't think it would be this bad. I think the fact that he has
how much
T.
am I?
Higgins back now is big. Like at first it was just Jamar Chase and that Iosovius guy and Gesicki, and I'm not sure I love their running back room either. But they looked a lot better on
Gesicki's
Monday
playing
night.
great.
He is. I like him a lot as a tight end. Like I really do. And Eric All, hashtag Hawks in the NFL, their second string tight end. It's nice to see him out there. But with Joe, it's like,
I don't know
they
what's going on with the Bengals this year. It's it. I like. I haven't watched because I didn't watch the first game against the Patriots. I don't really know what happened in that game. I watched obviously the Chiefs game. Um, it is also an unfortunate league where they almost, beat the Commanders. They almost beat the Chiefs, and if they won those two games, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But that's the league we play in, and at the end of the day, they're 0-3, and an 0-3 team's never won the Super Bowl. 0-3 is a world. I was talking about this with the Ravens. 1-2 is like a world's difference from 0-3. 0-3 just seems like this, like, yeah, that just seems like a big hole to dig out of. So I don't know if it's necessarily Joe's fault. Again, he's still playing decent. Whereas usually the Burrow that we know the past couple of years would win all these games.
right.
So
But at the same
high
time, like if you just look at
expectations.
the roster talent overall, like here's some guys that just are no longer on the Bengals roster anymore. That like I feel like were staple names, especially on the
It's probably
defense the last few
defensive
years.
names. Yeah.
Jesse Bates, Chidobe Awuzie, Mike Hilton, Von Bell, Logan Wilson, like Eli
No,
Apple,
the
not
defense
great,
is
but
hurting.
Ogunjobi, DJ Reader. I mean, they still have Hendrickson. Like
Vontez
it,
Burfict.
it's just not Vontae's
That
perfect.
was probably a while ago.
It's just not the same defense, and it's like you can only
It
like in this
shows.
league. Like I think that especially this year, like there's that old saying, defense is going to win championships. I think defense is going to win regular season games this year. That's going to be the difference maker for a lot of teams. I think that's why Washington is only going to win like 4 or 5 games because despite how good Jaden has been, that defense is atrocious, and it's just not going to be. They're not going to be able to score enough points week in and week out against these defenses, and their defense isn't going to be able to stop anybody. And the same thing applies to Cincy. It's like you can have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and T.
Yeah,
Higgins,
you're
but
gonna have
this
to put up
isn't fantasy
30.
football, dude. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's just not like you can't win a game with a kicker anymore. You're gonna have to have guys that can go out there and stop people
Yeah. Or you have to, I mean, like you were saying, or you have to do the Jane Daniels thing where you score in every possession except
every single
kneels.
possession, literally.
And you have to win games like the Commanders did, like 39-35, which is, I think, at some point exhausting. I mean, I can't imagine that Bengals team to put up 35 points and at home and walk. I bet if you told the Bengals you're going to put up 35 points at home against the Commanders, they would, oh, yeah, we obviously won that game. And they just somehow didn't. And I think it also falls to, I think we expect the Bengals and Joe Burrow have such high expectations to where, again, he played a good game, but it's just we expect him to win. Just like very high expectations compared to other quarterbacks in the league.
All right, before we
Which
get out of here, we did make a promise to our dear friend Dante Bola that we would spend a little bit of time talking about P. Diddy. Who we've made some jokes about on the podcast so far. I just wanted to have a conversation because he's right. Like he's like, we have to talk about this on the pod because it's one of the biggest stories in entertainment over the last probably half decade. And we've gotten to a point like in the culture where, stories break every single day. So I kind of have a hard time realizing like what's really that big and what's kind of just like a 24-hour story that people are going to brush by. This has been a point of conversation for months now, and it keeps increasing more and more. Just got a thumbs up from you on the recording,
Yeah,
which is
was that
hysterical.
Diddy? Was
Just out
that
of
Diddy?
nowhere. That's the ghost of Diddy.
God damn it, he's here.
So this article from Vulture, I just want to read just a couple of paragraphs from you because I've been keeping moderate tabs on it just through tweets and stuff like that, but I haven't really read any articles. So let me just read this to you, and I want to look at your face every now and then just to see a response from you on like
It's
some of the
probably
things that
pretty.
he's been accused. All right.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed bad boy for life, Sean Diddy Combs is facing serious legal issues following numerous allegations of sexual assault, harassment, and sex trafficking throughout his career. On March 25th, simultaneous bicoastal
It's a
raids
triple crown.
of his LA and Miami homes played out live on CNN while the hip hop mogul was on his private jet amid what could turn out to be a very public reckoning. On September 16th, the indictment against Diddy was revealed, and he was charged on 3 counts, including sex trafficking by force. He pleaded not guilty before he was denied bail. He is currently being held in jail, awaiting a trial. He was charged with, in addition to an investigation from Homeland Security and the federal government, he's also facing 4 federal lawsuits. A 5th brought in late 2023 by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, which included allegations of rape and physical abuse. That was settled and dismissed days after it had been filed.
I saw the video. Yeah, my take.
I never really
Yeah, it's
listened to
kind of.
Puff. Like, do you have a relationship with his music at all? Like, I listened to, like, some of the stuff with Biggie back in the day, but like, I know him as like the guy like who made Ciroc. Like, that's really, and I know that
Yeah,
he's like a mogul and a celebrity. I get all of that, but
he
like,
was
I'm never
just like
like,
an
yo,
elite.
I'm listening to P Diddy today. Like, that's what I'm gonna blast in my headphones.
No, when you say P Diddy, honestly I think of the song "Coming Home."
Mm.
Like like that's all I really. I think of him as like like a business mogul and just a guy that just kind of knows everyone. I'll say this though, like there's been talks about this for like 5, 6 years. Like people, you'd see little clips, sound bites on podcasts or interviews or this or that. Like Diddy parties, don't go here. Diddy does this, Diddy does that. Bieber, the rape thing. He was hanging out with Usher and Bieber when he was like 14.
Yep.
And you kind of believe it all. I think it's all true. And I think there's some serious strings even above him that are probably going to pull some other strings so he walks. I don't think he'll get convicted of a lot of stuff. He also, I read something today that he's been in prison the past like 4 days in prison. He hasn't eaten a single thing of food because he thinks someone's going to poison it,
Mm.
which just screams some true detective, higher political strings type bullshit, like some Epstein type wild bullshit. But yeah, I've heard stories from people
Well,
in
Epstein
LA,
is an
like
interesting
from
name to bring up, though, because it's like we had the Epstein case and all of that kind of come up over the last couple of years. These are Diddy parties. The Epstein parties or Epstein Island, like it was, billionaires that were going to that island. The people that are going to the Diddy parties are people that we are interested in and fascinated
it's
by.
like entertainment mogul, like
It's
every.
pictures of like Leo surfacing up there and like anybody that you can name. Like you name a celebrity. LeBron has been there, Drake has been there, etc. Like everybody's been to a Diddy party, and it's like,
I
were
believe
they
it,
at
man.
that Diddy party or were they just at like at a regular like LA party?
I'll say this. I mean, if you want my complete take, I bet and believe it's all true. All the weird stuff and the baby oil and the A-list celebrities doing
1,000
gay
bottles of baby
stuff.
oil. 1,000.
Yeah, yeah, nothing good is coming out of that.
If
You
me and
like what?
you had a bottle of baby oil and we split it, it would take us probably 10
I
years
know.
to like run out of it. Like at the
We're
very
not
like
that ashy.
yeah,
We're very well
just
moisturized.
until 2034. Like that would be like when we like, all right, hey, time to go to Walgreens and get another bottle of baby oil, and then we'll
Yeah,
get
let me
another
tell
one in
you something.
2044. He had
You
a
you got
thousand bottles of that thing. Like what? Like
you
I
got
just
a 1,000 bottles of baby oil. body parts are slipping into other body parts that shouldn't be slipped in. Okay, there's a lot. There's you know what? There's none of in the Diddy house friction. Okay, everything's going. There's not a single. There's no friction in the house at all. Everything's sliding smoothly. You want to move a couch at Diddy's house? You just push it, and it just kind of skirts
You flick it.
10 feet to the. Yeah, it's like, we went from a Malik Neighbors fantasy football trade to when you flick a couch in Diddy's house, it just floats to the other room.
I thought that PD like kind of laced you up with the Diddy oil before he made that Malik Neighbors trade. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God. There's enough of it to go around if we were in the house. There's definitely, enough of it to spare. But yeah, I bet and believe it's all true, but I bet you he'll walk from it all. Just because that's usually how shit goes
That's terrifying.
in this country. And yeah, I would say this, the sex trap, I mean, that's like sexual. We all saw the video of him beating up. I assume it's that Cassie. Is that the girl
Yeah.
that he beat up near the
Cassie.
elevator? Yeah, I mean that's video. And what happened with that? It got dropped,
Yep.
right? And because he probably wrote her a check for, 3, 4. I mean, fuck it, probably 10 million. And trafficking though is pretty.
Yeah.
That's like, not to
when like they paint the
this is a
pictures
really
like
bad-
there's so many Netflix shows like about trafficking, right? Like you think of like Taken or something like that. I think it was the first time I ever remember seeing like sex trafficking happen in a movie or TV show. It's usually painted
Yeah,
as like
probably.
billionaires, but like evil people, like they look dirty. Like P Diddy was always like the guy that was like, oh dude, that guy seems like a vibe. Like he's like, and then like
He
there's all
invented
these
Ciroc. He's
he
got to be
invented
fun.
Ciroc, like celebrities love hanging out with him, and it's like that's never the face of evil, and that's kind of the scariest thing about it.
No,
It's
because
like,
he's
oh
so
no, that is
far
the face
away
of evil.
from it.
Yes,
Oh
exactly. It's
yeah.
like you usually associate him with like being like a force of positivity when really the underbelly of the beast is just so nasty and terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not the one, you know, duct taping people up in,
Right.
storage containers, but he's the guy 6 or 7 layers getting a cut of it just at the very top. And
Yep.
yeah, man, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And I think this one, maybe he will get nabbed for it. I don't know. And he also, I've seen so many videos of people just throwing out names of celebrities and this and that. And, like my good friend, I think or not my good friend, I've never met him. And it's also from a movie, so I don't know why I said that. But law abiding citizen, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court.
Mm.
So that, yeah, who knows? I don't know what exactly will come of it. It definitely is a big, he's a huge part of just entertainment as a whole, in especially our lifetimes, like coming up from, that was kind of his come up our whole lifetime from like
Yeah.
middle school, throughout now, and to see it all kind of crash down, or not see it all crash down, but who knows what will come of it. But yeah, it's definitely, I don't know. It's definitely, again, we've heard shit like this for years about him doing weird shit. And then finally, everybody's always like, when is it going to get brought to light? When is it going to get, and then finally, like once in our lifetime, that someone actually is like in jail because of it, is kind of wild to see. But yeah, he's up in the penitentiary wearing all orange. Who the fuck knows? Maybe they'll lock him up for life and put his sick ass behind bars. Because yeah, sex trafficking. What I was gonna say before, I feel like that's way different than like sexual assault. Like Josh Giddey, like banging a really hot 17-year-old. That's obviously bad and technically sexual assault. But like sex, I feel like that's a whole level of like different evil and just fucked up. Just traffic. It just. Yeah, I don't know if you can get away from that one. That's just a little
No. It's been
wild.
so public too that like
Doesn't help
maybe
that
if
I'm
it was
talking about this shirtless, but we're just gonna ride with it.
well, we'll be back on Friday previewing the Week 4 NFL slate. We'll reveal how we did on Week 3. Then, spoiler alert: Mike did better than me, and now he's
I
getting closer
smoked
to
him.
me. You're getting close. It's not that big of a difference, all right? It's not that big of a difference. We'll just say it right now, and we'll say it again at the front of the pod on Friday. You
Made
went
some ground.
8-7 on your picks. I went 6-9 on my picks, and now the overall records are one game, half a game apart. I am 20-25. You are 19-26 for total record. So together, hopefully, we can get to above 500 coming into this week. Because I think after week 3, you have a better idea of like, all right, we've shaken off the rust. Now we're getting into like full season form. Like we should be good to go.
The team's hangover. The first 2 weeks of NFL are always kind of with the way they structure preseason now, with no one playing. I feel like everybody's in a hangover the first couple weeks, or at least like that's what I tell myself with the Ravens. Fucking,
I mean, it's a
almost
great
blew a
point,
lead.
though. Yeah, it's a great point. Like this is the preseason now, the first couple weeks of the season.
People are settling in. Yeah, teams are settling in. Players settle in. Yeah.
Well, all right. We will see everybody on Friday. In the meantime, make sure to tap into Rent Money, which will be dropping tomorrow. So you have 3 pods in a row from us. So make sure to lock in, and we will see everybody on the other side. Peace out. I'm loving the pop off.